Hey guys, this is Jimmy from Primer Is Best. It's kind of winter time here. I really can't play with Chevy and GMC trucks or anything else really because it's cold or raining or both or whatever. So we got a storm coming in here in just a few hours. So I thought I'd tell y'all, I've been trying to tell little things about me that maybe you might find amusing, some stories that's happened during my life that you might find amusing and maybe get a chuckle and maybe start your day or evening off good. Let's see, I wrote down on some piece of paper things. Okay, the story I'm going to tell you now, I don't think it'll take very long. It's, set that paper down so I don't make racket, but my wife and I, Mrs PIB, we had been married probably, I don't know, 10 years or so, I guess. And we decided that we was going, she arranged all this, by the way. She made arrangements to go like on a riverboat cruise thing. Sorry, my hand's getting in the way. I'm trying to hold it steady. You know, like in the Western days, you know, with the paddle, you know, steam boat, steamboat cruise, I guess you call it. Anyway, it was one of those excursions. You know, you're gone like for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4. I don't think it's that long, but you get a dinner, and you know you sit down on the boat. You know, and of course you're inside the boat. You know, in case of bad weather, whatever. And it was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We drove all the way over there. And I don't even know if they're in existence anymore or if the boat is still there. I don't think it is, but that's how long ago it's been. But I got to tell you a little bit about myself. Every time I go somewhere, I try to have a little bit of fun, no matter what. So, you know, we were all kind of dressed up, not like not like I am now with overalls and a shirt, but you know, kind of dressed up, kind of nice, and it's kind of like a, you know, in my opinion, a kind of like a fancy ordeal. I'm not really into fancy ordeals, but when you're married, you do what you got to do. And my wife was wanting to do this, so we did. And we got on the boat. You know, there's a whole bunch of people, you know, signed up for this thing, and you had to be there at a certain time. Like, it might have been like from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Something is a evening, you know, supper cruise, ride, whatever. Went up and down the Tennessee River. Went down the Tennessee River and then turned around and came back up. That's how it went. As I'm telling the story, I'm kind of remembering. But it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. But I had a real good time, and I'll tell you why. The waitress that was going to put us at our table, she picked out a table, and I said, ma'am, I said, would you mind if we sat at the corner table next to the wall? I said, my wife didn't know I was telling her all this. And I told her, I said, we're the FBI. I said, this lady that's pretending to be my wife, I said, we're not married. I said, we're FBI agents. And I said, we're keeping an eye on this couple 2 or 3 tables from us. And I said, if you don't mind, can we sit right here in this corner table? I said, I want to have a whole view of the whole, you know, boat, everybody coming in and out. And of course, her eyes got this big around. And of course, I'm not FBI. My wife isn't either, and we are married. So we had fun doing that, and you know, we sat down at the table, and I told the waitress, I said, ma'am, I said, whatever you do, please don't tell anybody. I said, I don't want to blow my cover or my agent next to me, her cover. Said, we've been working on this a long time, and I said, we're just keeping surveillance. I don't expect any trouble, nothing. But I said, that's my job, is to make sure that I keep an eye on these folks sitting at this table. And it was another man and another woman. You know, I didn't know them. I was just having fun. So the waitress, of course, she couldn't keep her mouth shut. So she told the other, waitresses and waiters and stuff, you know, that was on the boat. There's quite a few. And I got to noticing that they were looking at that table too. And it was funny. My wife noticed it too, and Mrs PIB, and she said, what's going on? I said, shh, be quiet. I said, we're FBI. I said, we're watching this table over here. I said, just kind of, And I pointed, I kind of pointed at the table, I said, look over there. So she looked, and of course the waitresses seen her look, and they thought it was a real deal because she was looking, I was looking. I'd take a bite and kind of turn my eyes, one way to the other, and trying to keep an eye on them like I was eating, which I was eating, and it was a real good meal. But the whole time we was on the boat, everybody, I'm sorry, you just had to have been there. It was hilarious, and I was having a good time. My wife, she didn't think it was so much fun, but I mean, she has a good sense of humor, and it finally, she finally had fun with it too. But at the time, she was just wanting to have a special evening with, just me and her. But instead, we included the whole ship. Oh, y'all probably just had to have been there, and this might not be funny to you, but wherever I go, I'm having fun like that. I also, I'll tell you this story just kind of come to me along the same premise. My wife and I went to Florida years and years ago. Went to Panama City, and I sit in. Of course, I mean we're our motel's right on the beach, with everybody else. Of course, you got the ocean, you got a big swimming pool, and you got a hot tub, a hot tub thing, like soaker thing, like shoots jets of water on your back and this, that, and the other. And it's pretty good size. A lot of people sitting there, and I sitting there. I just plowed in amongst them, sitting down there having fun. And I told I I got to where I was talking to the people, all the way around. It's just full of people sitting down there on this, how they are. Got a little bench, and you can sit down there and just let those hot water, bubbling water, soak your muscles, make you feel better. And I was doing that, and I got to asking everybody. I said, "Well, what do y'all do for a living?" And they's going around in a circle. We's just making friends, I guess. And I, you know, it got to my turn. I said, "Well," somebody said, "Well, what do you do?" And I said, "Well," I said, "I run moonshine." And I said, I said, "I run moonshine all the time." I said, "The whole southeast." I said, "I have all that covered. There's moonshine." I said, "That's how I make my living." And I said, "I do pretty good at it." I said, I said, I'm not reporting any of the money to the government or anything." I said, "Of course, it's illegal." And I said, "But I'm doing pretty good." And I said, this is like our 10th trip down here to Florida, and just having a good time." And let me change hands. Anyway, everybody was looking at me, and of course, once again, their eyes got this big. While I'm sitting in a hot tub with somebody that does something illegal. You know how some people are, and inside, I could hardly contain myself. You'd had to have been there sitting in the hot tub with us, but it was a lot of fun. And this one guy, he was from Ohio, and the whole trip while we were in Florida, this guy pestered me, wanting me to bring him moonshine to Ohio. He said, "You can make tons of money if you'll just start running moonshine to Ohio." And I said, "Buddy," I said, "I've made it a rule. I don't ever go past Mason-Dixon line." I said, "That's as far as I go." I said, "I do the southeast." I said, "That's what I do. My other partners do other things, but I'm in charge of the southeast." And I said, "I'm not going to Ohio hauling moonshine." And this guy begged me up all the way up to the last day we were there. I mean, he just on and on wanted me to run some moonshine up there to me. He said, "I promise you, you're going to do real good," and all this stuff. And, inside I was about to bust a gut inside, because I thought, how can people, I, I'm that way too. My mother always told me I was gullible, and that's another way of saying stupid, I guess. But I guess I am. But when somebody tells me something, I believe it to be the gospel. And it's pretty funny. Anyway, that guy pestered me all up until we loaded up our car to come back home to East Tennessee. So, of course, I don't run moonshine. I don't do nothing like that. I just try to be exciting, have an exciting life, and let everybody else think I have an exciting life too. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, let me know. If you do like this kind of stuff, I've got a whole list of stories I can tell you. And some of it's pretty funny. I mean, I'm not a, how can I say that? I'm not a habitual liar, but I just like to have fun. And let me tell you this real quick, then I'll hush. But I keep thinking about things I've done. But where I worked at in a factory, it was Thanksgiving. And they always had a company come over, the big Thanksgiving meal, and they'd feed everybody in the whole factory, turkey and dressing and stuff. And of course, I got kind of dressed up, with my Bubba teeth and stuff, and these people that are serving, they've never seen us before. It was our first time, and I'm sorry I'm shaking, guys. But you got in a line, one person, one at a time. You'd say if you wanted white meat or dark meat, if you want dressing, if you want green beans, corn, whatever. And my buddy, that we were real good friends, and he was in front of me, and I said, if you don't care, I said, just remember what I'm going to tell you. I said, I want white meat, I want green beans and corn and stuff like that. And I said, I'm going to go like this. And I said, when I do that, I said, you tell the lady that I said I wanted white meat. Anyway, it was really funny. Of course, we got up there. It was his turn to say what he wanted, and then the lady said, he was standing next to me still, and she said, white meat or dark meat? And I went, and he said he wants white meat. Anyway, I done that all the way down through the line, and it was pretty funny. But anyway, I just like doing stuff like that. I'm not hurting anybody. I don't mind somebody laughing at me or whatever, but that's probably more information than you wanted to know about me. And I thank y'all for listening. If you like this kind of stuff, please let me know. I got lots of stories. I got a list of stories I can tell y'all, and hopefully it'll be entertaining. At least maybe get me through some of the wintertime months where I can't play with cars and trucks and this, that, and the other. So the Lord is good to me. The Lord is good to me, and I hope He is to you too, guys. He's changed my life and made me a better person, a person I never thought I would be. The Lord has changed me into a good person, I think. Let me say this, better than I was, a lot better than I was. And I'm so grateful to be alive. Every day is a blessing. And waving at somebody. Every day is a blessing, just to have food and water and shelter and, heat or air, whatever you need. I mean, there's so many people that have it worse. The reason I'm telling you this is because count your blessings as well. The Lord's always testing everybody to see how you do, and I've got to pass, and I hope that you feel the same way. We've got to pass this test. So life is just a test, and we're gone in an instant. So make the most of it, guys. And you're watching Primer at His Best. If you'd like to subscribe, I surely would appreciate it. Hope y'all's having a blessed day today, and may the Lord be in charge. I'll catch y'all in the next one. If you like this, subscribe. You won't miss any of them. Or if you don't want to hear them no more, just say in the comments, I'd rather not hear the stories. God bless y'all. See you later.